Hey guys, Vol here again. Gonna go to game 2 where, again, we start with a very blurry clip, so I'll skip past this very quickly. It's Dark Elves versus Bretonnians, and a guy that I've never played against before. I've seen him around many times, but his name is Sam, and I've deployed it in a forest on the right-hand side of the battlefield. We're gonna go to the next photo just so that we can actually see a non-blurry video clip here. Dark Riders on the left-hand flank, archers on the, crossbowmen on the hill, harpies in the center, and everything else on the right-hand side flank. I've drawn up Lure of Gold, Lure of Metal rather, and you can see my cards in the field. Stop asking me for the cards. I can't give you the cards. And my opponent has an all-mounted Bretonnian army. He doesn't have any infantry at all, no trebuchet, no peasants, nothing. He's just got big blocks of Knights of the Realm, Questing Knights, Grail Knights. He's got the Lord on a Hippogriff. He's got Pegasus Knights. If we go to the next photo, you can see his Pegasus Knights on his flank on the other side of the forest. I like the fact that he put them there because that means I can't deploy any shades in the forest in between his troops, which was pretty cool. Anyway, entire Bretonnian army here. Haven't really played any Dark Elves vs Bretonnian games before, so I didn't really know what to do, so I had to really rely on theory and instinct, but hopefully I can pull through here. Next photo you see basically his Lord on the right-hand flank here, or my right-hand flank. Big units of Knights of the Realm, another unit of Knights of the Realm, so sort of going from right to left. On the right, Lord on Hippogriff with the blessed silver lance thing. He's got the Knights of the Realm there, big unit of something like 8 guys. Another unit of Knights of the Realm, unit of Questing Knights. Oh, sorry, no, sorry. Been drinking a lot tonight, so you have to bear with me. Grail Knights, more Knights of the Realm, plenty of Knights. Basically, there are a lot of Knights in this list, if you hadn't already figured. And he's got 3 level 2 damsels, so he's got plenty of magic there. Lots of magic defense too. Next photo, you've got my army here, mostly deployed in the forest because I didn't want to be charged by his Lord, didn't want to be charged by his Pegasus Knights, so mainly deploying in the forest. The Spearmen are in the forest because basically they're not there for combat, they're just ammunition for the Sacrificial Dagger. And the Sorceress is there with Lure of Gold. I've got the Shades and the Hydra in the forest because they're good at moving through woods, and Dark Rider is able to move around the woods quite quickly with their long movement, and Chariot on the right-hand flank just to try and flank any big buses. When I say buses, I mean big blocks of knights. Next photo, he's moving forward here. I've moved harpies in the way, really to get in the way of units, to redirect them, to tempt them to charge the harpies. Really, they can't do that unless they want to sort of be out of action for a couple of turns. So that's really the idea behind what's going on in this photo. In the next photo, you see his Hippogriff Lord moving right in front of the forest here. He's really short on targets here because the Hippogriff can't charge into the forest because if I'll flee with any units he charges against, and he'll basically be wasting his Hippogriff Lord if he does that. He won't quite have enough movement to reach, like for example, the Bolt Thrower because he's got to go through forest on his ground movement. And the Blackguard, if he charges into the Blackguard with his Hippogriff Lord, then obviously I might have an assassin in there, and in this case I do have an assassin in the Blackguard to appear and actually kill his mount or whatever. So he's playing carefully. I'm playing carefully. Neither of us really knows how this is going on, so we'll find out what happens shortly. Next photo, really just staying put in the forest, moving the Blackguard up a bit because the plan here is really to get the Blackguard into combat with his blocks, stop the charge because I'm stubborn with a Leadership 9 reroll with the BSB, and then counter-charge with other things from the flank, like the Chariot, the Hydra, possibly the Cold One Knights, and really win the game that way. So this is the game plan. Put the Blackguard forward, prevent him from charging anything else but the Blackguard, and then moving with the rest of my troops when I'm ready. And basically avoiding his general on the Hippogriff. So that's mainly the idea here. Next photo, he's actually used a lot of Howler Wind. It's a spell from the Lore of Life, which damsels can take, and that prevents strength 4 or less shooting from affecting any units within 12 inches. And that was quite cool because I had a lot of strength 3 shooting, as you can imagine, with armor piercing. So that was doing a lot of damage until he cast these spells. And that's why the card is situated over that unit because it has a damsel on it. But as you can see here, the Harpies redirecting 1 unit of Knights, allowing the Blackguard to be charged by the Grail Knights on the left and the units in the center. So that was the plan here. Really wanting to be charged by only a couple of units at a time, allowing the Blackguards to deal with them more effectively. Next photo, as you can see, I've actually redirected 2 units, in fact, so I've given him the opportunity to charge with his Lord if he wants to, as well as 2 units of Knights, and he didn't take that opportunity, didn't fall for the bait there, so quite a smart player. Not really, well, smart enough player to realize that charging a Blackguard was not a good idea without really the support of a bigger unit of Knights, or whatever he thought was necessary to be able to get an advantage. Next photo shows you the Pegasus Knights coming in from the side there. Taking a lot of shooting at this point from my Dark Riders and my repeater bolt throwers, repeater crossbowmen rather. The tactic here for me is just to put units to tempt him to charge on the left-hand flank, because I want his Pegasus Knights to be out of the way. I don't mind if he destroys a whole unit of Dark Riders or a crossbowman, so long as he's not involving his Pegasus Knights in combats with, say, bolt thrower crews or the Blackguard. I want him to be away from that, because the game's really going to come down to whatever happens in the center of the field with his main blocks of Knights and my Blackguard. But he was smart enough, again, not to fall for the bait there on the left-hand flank, so it allowed me to continue shooting him and actually do quite a lot of damage on his Pegasus Knights, which I was quite pleased about. Next photo, the flash has gone off in the camera, so you can see a lot more clearly what's going on. I probably should use the flash more often, to be honest. I just don't really like the imagery as much. And he's moved his Pegasus Knights in a bit further, really quite close to everything here. And he's decided not to charge anything just yet. He wants to get better positions before he does so the Harpies are able to cause yet more havoc among the lines. Next photograph, we're going to see that the Lord has actually moved behind the forest, in between the chariot and the Dark Riders. So whenever I'm playing against a guy that has a Lord, like a combat Lord on a flying, terror-causing mount, I always worry that he'll put his character in an offensive position. But I'm always surprised by my opponent doing some sort of defensive move where he can't be shot at. And I think it's because when you're playing from the perspective of a large target, terror-causing combat character mount, you want to avoid being destroyed by a bolt thrower or something like that, or shooting. And your opponent wants to avoid being destroyed by you charging, so you're always surprised about where he lands. And in this case, he's landed in a position where he's causing 2 terror checks on the Shades and the Dark Riders. The Cold One Chariot and the Hydra are unaffected because they cause fear or terror. But in this situation, he can't really charge anything, because I can just move out of his charge range in my turn, and he's forced to move somewhere else. So I was quite pleased with his decision to do this. I really felt like it would have been more beneficial for him to just keep his guy out in the open, ready to charge me in the following turn, and just do some damage, and force me to actually try and